Got pretty much the same bans coming out here. Curious to see what the final ones will be. That Sivir still banned blue side for Giants. We're talking about that and how it's kind of revealing the hand, but it didn't seem to hurt them last time. Lulu banned away again, so that is the same ban setup. This time, though, Splyce adapts, and they ban out Pepi's Varus.
Yeah, Varus is off the table here, so if we get the same matchup here, maybe an earlier Azir pick on the side of Splyce, that can then punish the quirky mid-lane matchup. Or maybe Giants flex here, or adapt rather, and they just go for the first pick Azir.
Yeah.
It has been trending, and even in LCK, people have been first picking Azir.
We might see it. I mean, Shurima's starting to be on the rise yet again, but it looks like SmittyJ is prioritizing the Poppy once again, and that will be the first lock-in. Second time in a row.
Yeah, we need to see if SmittyJ can perform on some other champions here than that Trundle and the Poppy. Of course, he has played a little bit of Fiora and Graves too, but
he hasn't been forced off to anything else. I mean,
seems very comfortable on that Poppy and seems to be very highly prioritized here. And then Splyce, they react with the, in my opinion, second best jungler after Nidalee. And obviously, as we saw, the Azir going up and up and up in the priority. Like when he first got a little bit tweaked and came back to the scene, he came in at like rotation number 4, 5 right now. 1, 2, 3. So people are starting to really value the Emperor of Shurima.
Well, as we saw last game, both these mid laners too, fairly deadly with that Azir pickup. Sencux had some nearly game-changing moments on it, and you know, had Splyce not gotten indecisive and pushed their lead when they shouldn't, or not pushed it when they should have, that game might have very well been a 1-0 favor of Splyce. On the other side, Giants will lock down the Nautilus once again. Should be going to Hustlin, and a Graves pickup.
No mid lane reveal here, unless it is Nautilus mid, which I doubt. Maybe, you never know.
All they need is Nari, and they've got New Dawn on their side.
But yeah, they have the Poppy in the top lane. Nautilus support really forced early again, and then the Graves. So waiting with AD and mid, despite mid already being revealed here. Ooh, the hovers that they have right now. The Xerath and the Jhin is another poke comp here from Giants. Yeah. And this is a really cool interaction that you have with these two champions. Pepinero, again, the weakness of Azir is if he gets heavily outranged and poked out. Or if you have an assassin that can gap close and just kill him immediately like a Zed. Obviously, it's fairly risky to go Zed for lack of wave clear, but Jhin, Varus have some really cool interactions.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what this Xerath can do in the hands of Pepi. I mean, we haven't really seen too much of Xerath in some time, and I'm already starting to have my mind go back to like Febivin just nailing shots like crazy when Fnatic's old squad last year, and Pepi, you know, the standout mid-carry of that time, was able to do some pretty disgusting things as well. And we've got a Jhin for SONSTAR, so this is a ballsy decision, and I like it from Giants, considering how last game went over.
Bold here. I like SONSTAR's Jhin a lot more than I like his Kalista, so it's fantastic to see that he opts for that. If you look at Braum, though, on first glance, you feel like, yeah, Braum can block a lot of Xerath's damage. No, he can't. His shield is actually useless because the Q goes through it. W is obviously an AoE impact spell, so it doesn't really work. The E you would have blocked anyways, with or without the shield. So Xerath completely negates any peeling ability that Braum has, which is kind of unique for a mid laner. So the setup they're looking for is a max range channel Q poke into then this Jhin snare, and then just unleash with 2 global snipe ultimates. We could see some fancy sniping here if SONSTAR and Pepi actually have synergy.
That is the question. We'll have to find out. I mean, last game they definitely were able to play pretty solid together, but it was just as a team in general. Of course, the Braum Lucian lane for Kobbe and Nisbeth is a pretty traditionally powerful one, and Wunderwear's got his hands on Fiora yet again. So they're sticking to their guns, Splyce are, and you know, it wasn't their composition that sunk them this last game. I don't think that's a terrible decision. Yeah,
part of their composition is, though, that they have very limited wave clear, so they are forced to make a really aggressive play, a flank and engage, and that in itself is predictable for Giants if they were their flanks. But Giants can actually go for fog of war kills. They can come outside of vision and kill you with just the first ultimate proc from Jhin needs to connect, then the target is slowed. That means Pepinero can just rain down. Boop, 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 boop. 3 hits, and then some more boops from SONSTAR, and the target can just drop outside of re-engage range.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Splyce's team is that a lot of their damage dealers and even some of their tanks have dash abilities, but if they're forced to use those all defensively, they're never going to be able to get those flanks off, and that's the troubling thing.
But that's kind of the win condition for Giants here.
I suppose.
But if it fails, it will fail horribly. But it will at least be fun to watch.
It will be a very exciting game. Now, why don't you guys tell us if you think Giants can take a 2-0 lead in this series? Hashtag GIA win at LOL Esports is the place, or Splyce will thunder back to a 1-1 with a tried and true composition. Hashtag SPY win is that hashtag as we get ready, loaded up to lock into the Rift for game number 2. A lot of high stakes. Splyce, everyone expected them to be taking this one, and highly favored against Giants, considering their very back and forth performance on Thursday. But they have had a fantastic game number 1. If they can keep that form up, there's no reason they can't requalify into the LCS.
Yeah, but I'm actually disappointed here in all these players, because as we load into the Rift, and we get this fancy scenic route, what we did
zoom into Splyce
on my screen is that all their players immediately bought their trinkets. And when you're a pro player, you need to minimize useless clicks, you know, to preserve that wrist of yours. Now when you walk out of the base, the game actually grants you a free trinket if you forgot to buy one. So you could get that yellow trinket for free by simply walking out of the base, but instead all these players opted to actually buy it themselves. That's an extra flick of the wrist, you know, that maybe down the line can end up giving you carpal tunnel.
It's a negative mark on Professor Krepo's sheet, unfortunately. So these guys are only averaging Cs. That's okay, man. Perfection for perfection's sake is always a good thing. Let's take a look at how we've got things lined up right now. Standard lanes are the flavor of this game. And of course, those trinkets were warded out along the sides. Why stand in line of scrimmage when you can get vision to do it for you?
Yeah, nobody really feels to invade, get information, because generally you lose about the same information that you give. And again, Giants like playing the solo queue style. Should have really quick Krugs here. AoE from Riptide and from Jhin should take it down. Gromp will get absolutely murdered though. Gromp dies a little bit quicker, so bot lanes could unleash into super heavy action. It also can become a farm fest. Let's see this mid lane here. Peppy, not Poppy, starting W. Some harass. And gets the mana back on auto attacks.
Oh yeah. Have to keep tabs on this mid lane yet again. It could be over before it even begins with that damage. Peppy was playing pretty dangerously close to the Sand Soldiers. This time he gets hit by one, but he has traded fairly effectively on Sencux already. Yeah,
if he lands a spell on Sencux, he will not get minion aggro. Remember, only when he auto attacks, he will get the aggro. He's getting pushed in though, so that will cost him some CS. SmittyJ misses the Q, so that's all what this matchup is about from Fiora. Dashing in, and then not getting hit, and obviously proccing those vitals, getting grasp when you can to stay sustained. Whittle him down.
We didn't get to see this early lane matchup last time since there were the lane swaps and the mirrored lane swaps back and forth. But Wunderwear definitely racked himself up a solid score and was able to chase down a lot of kills. But Smitty, I mean, they really just needed his utility to be coming in handy. So it doesn't really matter if he wins that lane as long as he's still able to deliver. Look at that, the knock-in. Hustlin nails Nisbeth, but they just trade a few blows back and forth.
No synergy, so that should be able to be called on comms and say, like, we're going on this one. Get your W ready. It's the power of this lane. You can obviously get Nautilus hooked into snare from his passive into the Jhin W. For another one.
Can't stand too close to the minions either. I mean, that dancing grenade starts to hurt pretty fast. Curious to see how this one develops. Kobbe and Nisbeth not too low, but Kobbe dashing forward, and before SONSTAR can answer, even dodges out the flourish and the dredge line. Giants bot lane.
Missing on a lot of opportunities here. And Kobbe honestly going too aggressive, but here's Trashy.
Oh, Trashy. Right out of the bushes comes the Fat Man. They get the body slam, they get the barrel. Hustlin forced to flash away already. Not a kill, but gang successful.
Yeah, I wonder how much that was Kobbe misplaying on purpose or actually overstepping, because if he gets rooted there by the snare from SONSTAR and then there's follow-up from Hustlin, he has to straight up flash out. But you see the kill potential in this lane though if they do connect their spells, and Hustlin will now have to play farther back.
Yeah. SONSTAR still not connecting on what he needed to, using the Deadly Flourish just to farm it up.
Alright, Wisdom has a level advantage because he went and invaded. He will get equalized right now and Trashy's on the Gromp, but he's waiting in the wings. He's actually dueling on your minimap for the Gromp. Did he actually take that? Let me check.
I'll have to find out.
I think he did, because Trashy is only 3.1 here, so I'm just going to check back. On my screen, he must have taken it.
Hit the caster rewind, Eye of Destruction, and Arcano pulls. Sencux is in trouble. He has to dash and flash, and Wisdom gets a parting shot anyways. So, making Sencux burn everything he had to be able to get out of there too. You can see Sencux definitely trying to play the safety route this game, of course, taking the cleanse summoner spell to avoid the CC lock that he can face up against this Giants team. So much damage potential if they do get those lockdowns. Teleport in from Wunderwear now to start trading out once again with SmittyJ. You can already see that pretty hefty CS discrepancy. I mean, it's over 10 at this point. And Wisdom is on his way up to give some relief to Wunderwear, but he changes his mind at the last moment.
Yeah, Wisdom path from mid for a second after stealing that Braum from Trashy. So Trashy revealed himself in the bottom lane to get the gank, and he forced Hustlin's flash, but then Wisdom pathed in and stole the Braum, so he's now a full level ahead of Trashy, and he's playing Gragas from behind. That obviously means that he has to farm a lot to catch up, and Giants can use that moment of safety to get back into the game.
Yeah, they'll definitely...
I mean, 11 CS right now.
To
so he's finding no camps whatsoever. He has to go for enemy Raptors right now.
I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies all across the board. Top lane obviously starting to equalize out a little bit, but Trashy's been way behind this Graves of Wisdoms. In the mid lane, it's fairly even, but it wasn't a moment ago. And then, of course, you see Kobbe with the significant advantage over SONSTAR. I mean, it's kind of been lopsided back and forth, and that was pretty much the nature of the game last game as well, except that was the entire gold league.
I need to see in bot lane. Will the waves be manipulated so they push towards Splyce? If Kobbe, whilst it's at the very last second, one grenade can force it to push, and then Trashy can slide in from behind, sneak into the bot lane. Hustlin will be the target here. No flash available. Can they bait it?
Here comes Nisbeth looking for Hustlin, and Kobbe is there. Trashy throws a barrel nowhere near 6 though, so he can't get the knockback that he wanted. Now Nisbeth is actually taking free poke.
And Pepinera comes in on the left side though.
Oh, it looks like going for it. Kobbe, that's a lot of damage, and Pepi around the side gonna flash, look for even more, gets the stun off on the orb, and he's gonna launch his ultimate. One more shot, and that's first blood. Looking for even more on that, forcing Nisbeth to flash away from the flourish. Try saying that 5 times fast, but Giants, they get themselves one quick kill.
Pepinero gets a roam on an Azir lane, which means he pushed in, disappeared before there was any counteraction from Sencux. Maybe he was in base. Must have to be. He comes back down. Yeah, the push came out from Pepinero. He roamed to bottom and he answered that honestly poorly executed gank. Watch this again. The gank's given away. When the Braum, who has been passive the entire laning phase, randomly jumps forward, you know the jungler's coming. So early engagement from Nisbeth. And look, Trashy finds Pepinero in the river. Only just now is the Azir walking back to lane. So Pepi really used that timing advantage. Exhaust comes out. This is beautiful.
Oh, great
This
stun.
is like absolutely beautiful. And then obviously he walks back so he doesn't get cancelled. And goes for the ulti and forces another flash here from Nisbeth. This is fantastic play from Giants.
I mean, he sinks a free throw on that one. It was nice. And it's good to see Pepi back on this champion and delving deeper into his champion pool. We haven't seen him pull out the Xerath. Very few people have been, but we haven't been seeing him pull out the Xerath since I was just got in my ear. It was summer of week 1 of the summer split of last year. So it has been quite some time, but he's looking right back in shape on it. And a quick kill picked up, very, very good for him. Yeah,
and the reason that that's so big is, and that's something that has been lacking in Giants, when one lane is behind usually on Giants, nobody other lanes is winning hard enough to kind of equalize it out. That's why they kind of suffer a quick demise where they just get ruffle stomped. But right now Pepinero, or xPePii as we have to call him now, managed to use his lead, translate that into the bottom lane, and despite being at 1.25 CS down, SONSTAR is now playing BF Sword versus BF Sword. Otherwise, he would be playing on like Pickaxe versus BF, and he would have a trade disadvantage. And with their level 6 power spike coming out, they can actually blow up a single target with the experience advantage too. So they could actually snowball bot lane right now because Pepinero used his lead to help his other lanes. Giants playing like a team.
Yeah, they do have a lot of damage.
Trashy's lurking here.
Together. Trashy's around the side. In comes Sencux, gets the knockback, but now it's Pepi who might be in trouble. He goes, but he won't be going there for long. Chasing him down, it's Trashy that secures the kill. Red buff.
Damn, how do you defend from that? That was Pepinero playing with a lot of respect and still getting caught. Really good usage of that Azir. Improved shuffle. It's a lot easier to execute.
Well, that's the danger of playing the Xerath. I mean, he's not incredibly mobile. You saw him pop the Ghost, but he was already in trouble, had no flash available. And Splyce, recognizing that weakness, were able to capitalize on it, equalizing the kills, and they put themselves in a equal gold position as well.
Equal gold. Experience advantage on Wisdom, though. Because again, look at how far xPePii. I guess that's too far. I guess xPePii could also just yield the pressure here with no vision and walk back in lane. Perfectly executed by Splyce.
I was so unlucky that he popped the Ghost right the second before he got shuffled.
I mean, he's just too far up. He knew he was getting engaged on regardless, so it is just maybe he should just wait for Trashy to for Sencux to push in and then just be the second guy to the wave clear. You can play that style of Xerath because Azir really doesn't like waiting. He will just push in that wave and then give it to you afterwards.
Speaking of pushed in, Smitty had pushed his own wave, and he actually goes on through a roam of the jungle. Pepi stepping a little far forward, trying to trade, but he's the one who ends up getting traded. And it looks like we've seen this one before, but this time, there's a Poppy at his back, and there will be no further aggression there. Meanwhile, back to the bottom side, Nisbeth is getting caught on a line from Hustlin. Wisdom, they can kill him. He's waiting. They send the Braum ulti out, looking for SONSTAR. Incredibly low, but Exhaust is on, and Wisdom steps right forward. Curtain call not even needed, and they just blow Nisbeth back. 1, 2, 3 shots, and he's going down. SONSTAR with the final shot. Meanwhile, back to the mid. Pepi's taken out in round 2.
Pepi doesn't learn from his mistakes, but Hustlin with a really good patience there on that depth charge. He waited until the Braum E was dissipated and then sent it out on the Lucian. He didn't want to go for Nisbeth. He wanted Kobbe's sweet booty there. You see Trashy coming in. E-flash onto Pepi.
There we go.
There's nothing he can do.
No sums. Ouch.
Yeah, he needs vision. So he can never escape those ganks, and he can't play far enough backwards for that to matter. So what he needs is his team to help him ward around the mid lane, and then he can put safe pressure and poke out Sencux.
And there just isn't any in that top side of the mid lane river. And you really don't have a whole lot going for him.
Or any deep vision. Any wards on camps, so they know roughly where Gragas is. Is he on the camps? I can play up. Is he not on the camps? I can't play up.
Uh-oh. Wunderwear. He's caught between Smitty and Wisdom, and he's going to get popped up by the hammer, incredibly low, burning down, and Wisdom buckshots him.
Giants is playing a lot smarter, not only on the macro game, but also in the individual holding of cooldowns. So they really don't fall into the repose trap right there. Earlier, they don't use everything early in a panic mode. They wait for the Unbreakable to fade and then use Depth Shard. They also don't reveal their jungler too early. They let their AD carry fall to 25% before the jungler stepped out and go for the counter gank. So they're actually playing confident gameplay where they're baiting Splyce and simply outplaying them. They have this illusion of being weak, but playing far stronger than many teams or analysts kind of give them credit for.
Yeah, it's just they hadn't shown much until recently, and this is very impressive growth from the side of Giants. If they can keep this up, it is looking excellent for them to make it back into the LCS and maybe start developing once again as a team. Remember, this is a team that they were able to make playoffs on at least one occasion. They fought multiple times for that spot in the LCS. Sencux trying the fancy feat. He does dodge out the last of the Xerath ultimate.
Yeah, despite being 2 ganks down and a roam, so that's 3 opportunities where xPePii left the lane, he is still even on CS. On the Xerath.
Yeah. Azir hasn't done quite so much except in his own lane. Now, Steadfast presence. I mean, the damage is limited onto SmittyJ, and the Grasply and Dying procs traded back and forth, and they have a good old bash fest, and now Smitty knocks Wunderwear right back.
We're still in the point of the matchup where Poppy should convincingly at least be able to handle these fates. We see another loop around here from Trashy though. xPePii needs some side vision. He has deep vision top left, which means Gragas has to be on the right. Pepi has to respect this.
Stepping forward, he knows he has Graves. Sencux has to bail out from under his turret. We're pinging that one available as well. Pepi trying for the long shot, but he's not going to be able to get it.
Good shadowing here from Wisdom. The combined knowledge of the fact that the top left jungle is empty and Gragas is not there, and the fact that Wisdom hugging left side to answer a potential gank from the right makes it so that the earlier poked out Sencux can't actually come in for a play. And that actually opens up for pressure in mid, which then translates into a roam top. Look at what they're doing here. They're going for dive on Wunderwear. There's no additional TPs to help him, so he may be dead in the water. Oh,
Pepi's coming around the side too. This looks like it could be a good old pincer move. Wunderwear knows the danger's there, and he can't dodge fast enough. Blown away, but SmittyJ is the one who gets the kill on that. And they should be able to grab themselves a tower.
Yeah, really good trickle-down effect there. Deep wards. Kind of know where the jungler is. Play with respect. Poke out Sencux initially, so he is less inclined to fight you. Then use that advantage to push in mid wave, and then facilitate a rotation to the top lane. No cross-map play here from Giants, from Splyce rather. Bot lane, Hustlin, and SONSTAR, despite early CS deficit, and just being down a little bit right now, they're playing bang on even due to that gank from Pepinero. So Giants, a lot of teamwork here.
Yeah, this is them playing as a team. We talked about how maybe they needed to work on that coming into the promotion tournament. They're clearly showing it off today. On Splyce's side, it seems like the opposite is true. We talked about them looking like a team that didn't have as many standout players, but they knew how to play for basic goals together. They're all over the place right now. Throughout the last game and this one, it seems like they're not entirely sure what to do.
Yeah, and when they do know what to do, they kind of lack in execution just a tiny bit. The early gank there on Hustling could have generated on a kill. Then they kind of overextend, play too far forward. They gave away the second gank on Hustlin too, which opened up for Wisdom to invade and then steal that Grump. That kind of set everything in motion. Trashy spent a lot of time utilizing this mid lane, but this surprise Xerath pick, this is twice that Giants have pivoted in the last blue side rotation and still managed to surprise Splyce. First time, they flexed the Varus core key, Trashy still red buff, to kind of combat that early Azir pickup. Now, Varus was banned out, and they said, you know what, we have another trick up our sleeves. We leave AD carry in mid for last pick, and we reveal Varus, reveal Jhin and Xerath overall. And they haven't even gotten to the point where they're going to poke Siege together. That is Giants' win condition. 25 minutes, 20 minutes in the game, they want to group up and just poke.
They're on track to do it. 15 minutes is the game time now. Hustlin looks to start chasing in for the fight as Wisdom is here. Curtain call from the back. Nisbeth gets the knock up on Braum and Kobbe dashing away. They smell the danger, but now they've got some backup. Except for Trashy and Sencux have decided not really worth it.
Yeah, not really worth it. They're not just quite at the point yet where they can single out Nisbeth and just burn him down. Also, one thing we haven't mentioned, Nisbeth is playing with Ignite here. So unless you can turn that Ignite into a kill, I'm not a big fan of this. Especially not on a Nisbeth that is Kobbe, on a bot lane that is Kobbe and Nisbeth. Like, they're not 2v2 aggressive, force to play players.
Yeah.
You're never gonna see Nisbeth dash to a creep, Q flash R. Like, that's not their playstyle. They're kind of self-sustainable. They should be running just an exhaust for these teamfights later on.
Sencux some danger here. The hook will not connect. Just in time, he slides and glides his way out, but
no
tower might be going down. Let's see what they can get here. Sencux, he's still in danger to try to go back in. Oh, there's the dredge line. He's going to flash Emperor's Divide to push him back, but he's still blown up. Epi with a serious heaping helping of damage. Trashy's knocked up, gets Hustlin on the back, so at the end, a support for mid sacrifice.
Oh my lord, Giants, the 1-3-1, push the side lanes, move through the jungle, isolate that mid lane tower, and then just straight up dive whoever's defending it. The bot lane from Splyce, oblivious of this rotation. Wunderwear pushed in or base in the top lane, oblivious of this rotation. 5v2 in the mid lane, tower and kill. With Hustlin dropping on the back end of that, going towards Giants.
Giants just exhibiting some fantastic collapses. Let's see it all again because Sencux had no idea what was coming.
Look on your minimap. The bot lane just starts moving right now. They're not even going cross-map for tower. Right now, Kobbe should be taking bot tier 1. He's looking to collapse here on the tower that's already dead. Look, now they altered their path there. So, Splyce, again, they have no clue what's going on. They're just getting surprised by Giants who are a lot more proactive than we're used to seeing them throughout the entire sprint.
Splyce have been making a couple of individual plays, but nothing in the way of teamwork, and you can see it reflected in that gold now. It's a 4,000 gold deficit for Splyce at 17 minutes in. Trashy Nisbeth still going to try to make xPePii's life hell. We'll see what happens. There's the quick flash we were looking for, and even answers back with some damage before they can get back. Right of the arcane to hit for Sencux, who dodges 2 out of 3. Not too bad. Still at half health now. Dragon could be set up here for Splyce, but they'll need a lot more than that just to get it. Trashy.
Trashy finally gets
nice. There we go. He gets a little bit of CS back for himself. Still down to like 20, 25. I mean,
yep.
He's been having a hard game, but he has been farming champions, at least in the mid lane.
You take my Braum, I take your Raptors. Trashy here, you know exactly where he is. And that kind of ruins the surprise of that E-Flash. Wisdom is still that full level ahead though. Is it a full level? He's at least A level. Let's see the experience. 11.5 versus, yeah, 10.9. So Trashy's catching up. Only half level behind right now.
Let's take a look at the items since this game Wunderwear's gone for the other Hydra. It's going Ravenous for a little bit of extra damage and that lifesteal available to him. But SmittyJ is already on
it leaves you weaker
too.
So Ravenous early, it leaves you a lot weaker, but it scales a lot better towards the later parts of the game. So if Splyce keep the game somewhat even, which it is right now, is not, but if they can make it even, then the late game split push advantage should go to Wunderwear with this build, since it's impossible to... You kind of have to kill him. If you give him any minions to lifesteal on, you will just lose every trade advantage you just created.
Right, but giving that information away, too, in your build, you know, kind of just says, hey, this is what we're going to try to do. And Giants, they've been the ones who are much better at the 1-3-1 so far.
Yeah.
Oh, pulled in. They look for the dredge line. Teleport coming in for SmittyJ, but Nisbeth and Kobbe and Trashy have already left. However, there's a lot of range damage here as Trashy gets flourished. And they've got the Rift Herald buff. They might be able to try to siege this one down.
Yeah, but that kind of build path that you just pointed out here, combined with xPePii winning mid, we see Nisbeth getting poked out here.
Oh god, not so unbreakable, and he just gets popped. Wisdom with the kill credit. A few more shots to the right of the arcane. The hits keep on coming with the curtain call. Trashy manages to dodge a bit of it. Still a ton coming out, and they can keep on pushing if they want.
Yeah, keep on pushing siege, and have to go back to the mid lane here. But yeah, it's kind of weird how in League of Legends one item buy can influence a kill in the bot lane, despite them not really interacting. Is because Poppy now has continuously had the push advantage in the top lane because Ravenous is just weaker early, and SmittyJ has been doing well, so he's pressuring Wunderwear, which means he can move whenever he wants. And he used that initial movement to go mid and dive. Then he pushed up again, expected he could push up mid because he was in a favorable matchup, and pressured in 2 lanes from Splyce. And then Giants combine those 2 pushing lanes to make a play on the bottom lane, isolate that tower, and take that one down, and take a dragon to boot. So they're translating their advantages on the map into different areas and capitalizing right there. They lose 1 tower in the top lane, but they're fine with the trade because they get a kill, and they kill their last tier 1 tower that they had to take down.
And Giants, when they do have a lead at 20 minutes, which hasn't been very often this spring, they do have quite a high win rate. You know, they make sure that they can close out games. And you know, the way they're playing right now as xPePii gets knocked sideways by Trashy is quite impressive. SmittyJ up into the top side looking for Wunderwear now. The buckler coming out, a lot of damage. You can see how strong this Poppy still has been to answer back damage in kind. And Wunderwear might need some help up top side. Teleport available for him. He does have that advantage for cross-map plays, but as you've been pointing out, Splyce have not been making any cross-map plays. Yeah,
can't because they're continuously being pressured in. That's the beautiful thing about winning matchups in terms of pressure. You eliminate any cross-map play potential because, yeah, I go down to the bottom side. You want to take a tower in the top. Well, you have to first run over the entire lane to get to that tower or objective. And we see the weakness of this early Ravenous build. Just not enough raw damage to go for an all-in.
Yeah, well, let's move to the other side of it too, because Giants, they've turned their 5,000 gold advantage into some serious pain. The Xerath, Luden's Echo, Morellonomicon, a lot of damage coming out for him. You can see Wisdom, he's been sniping kills left and right, picking up quite a lot of assists to boot. He's got a, you know, he finished the Moth fairly, I don't want to say early, but, you know, at least right on time, and he's building towards even more.
Yeah, it means he can play good, strong frontline Graves. Deceptively tanky is what I would use to describe a Graves if he gets like a Sterex 2 later on. You kind of have to focus on him, but you don't want to waste your abilities on him. Now we're in a familiar position as we were last game. With Trashy on a flank, and Giant setting up a siege poke with really punishing poke right now. Because any connection from xPePii means that the SONSTAR can then look for a snare with that Deadly Flourish. Got somebody out. He has maxed it too. Didn't max it few.
Yep. There's the curtain call. Misses 1. Misses 2. Got 3 on Nisbeth.
All right.
And he got Nisbeth 4. Okay, all right. Halfway. You know, it's not the worst batting average I've ever seen. But all the same, you know, as long as Giants know where all these Splyce members are, they can continue to peck away at this tower, and they've got the Jhin traps around the side. They prevent these flanks.
Exactly. So that is one difference right here, and they're invisible, so you kind of have to sweep the area. Wunderwear shown in the base, so he's looking for TP. Bottom right of the screen is the only place he can TP.
He's going. Oh, they knocked Hustlin. They took him out already. It's Sencux with the credit, but Nisbeth gets knocked back, and now the Azir's on the hunt. Meanwhile, Wunderwear from the backside kills SONSTAR. Wisdom going low. Wisdom going down. xPePii going down. That's the double kill, and Giants on the run. Giants going way too low in this one. Wisdom can't last much longer, and he gets bopped by the Gragas. Only SmittyJ makes it out alive, and would you believe it? It might be Baron time.
Yeah, it will be Baron time. This has to be a guaranteed Baron. Let's see who's alive here. SmittyJ with teleport. Maybe can go in. There's no ultimate though, so he will actually just die. Azir and Fiora do Baron incredibly quick despite only 22 minutes in the game. And Giants, they made the cardinal sin when it comes to a poke comp. You don't overextend far. When you think you're winning, think again. Just keep poking max range. Because Splyce, they hard counter. They have the kryptonite against the poke comp, which is a TP flank from home guards and a hard engage at the other side. Which is again, this is way too far up. You can't commit this far up with your top laner and your support. Support should never be hitting tower there. Look, Hustlin. Absolutely useless, and then SmittyJ goes in to trade his life for support. Guess what? Your backline is exposed, and that is exactly what Splyce wanted to happen. They stepped far enough back to bait Giants to step forward and hit the turret when they could be poking, and it cost them their entire lead, and maybe the game even with this Baron buff.
Well, decisive play from Wunderwear. You could see he even was able to get the swag kill with the riposte. I mean, really, really excellent turnaround. It's still a deficit for Splyce. But they have the aggressive, they have the advantage at the moment, and with a 1-3-1 going, Giants, it'll be hard for them to push this one back. And take a look at that last team fight and what they were able to do. Wunderwear, more damage than, you know, him and Kobbe were actually fairly low compared to Sencux, but they did more damage than the rest of the members in that fight combined.
Yeah, the indicator of how bad that.
I left that one pretty weird.
No. Just the worst thing about this is that just nobody did any damage to Giants' side. Yeah. There was no counterplay because it just got flat out caught out.
Well, when Hustlin gets bopped like that, as quick as you like, Giants took even a few seconds to react. So
they did the wrong reaction. They went in and trying to save a dying support that had to use his cooldown. Wunderwear.
Dying.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of gold in that fight. Now somebody has a Black Cleaver. And guess who's winning that all in right now with the Baron buff too. 1-3 on push. Suddenly that poke can't work as wave clear anymore. And Giants are crumbling under the pressure.
Yeah, we were in a similar position last game, maybe not as quickly, but Splyce were looking to lock the game up and they made some key mistakes that then cost them that match. But Splyce, hopefully learning from their lesson here, they're backing off and they're still spending a lot of time with Wunderwear on the split push. And as you mentioned, the longer this game goes, the better that Ravenous Hydra becomes for Wunderwear and allows that split push to happen. 44 seconds on the next Dragon, 55 until the Baron dissipates, but that's a hell of a Baron power play right there.
Yeah, they have it right at the right moment of the game. Just buy enough time. Right now, they learn about the weaknesses of Giants' composition too, and they wait for another teleport. So, need to see more sweepers and pink wards. Giants, if they're sieging, they need to kill as many wards as they possibly can on their flanks. And the best way to do that is just everybody brings a pink ward to the poke party.
Places it down. Sure you can stop. There you go. That's at the end.
No, this is like lesson 2 for Summer Split. Now we tell them to buy the pink wards. I know a lot of people struggle, and then we teach them how to place it down.
Where to do, how frequently.
Where it's like that's for next year.
Oh, okay, so that's the advanced class.
That's how hard we struggle at Solo sometimes. We're just teach them to buy it. I'm fine with them placing it anywhere they want, and then we teach them slowly but surely to place it in brushes on the part of the map where you actually are.
And eventually the teams learn
how to use the vision.
Able to take down.
Yeah, use the information.
Yeah. So Splyce on that, they get themselves Dragon #1. So using the map advantage that they currently have, still trying to secure up vision. There's nothing else on the map to take objective-wise except for some towers. But you see, they've knocked down now 4 to the 3 of Giants, because Giants weren't even able to finish that inner on the mid. As you saw the indecisiveness going in to try and save Hustlin on that last fight. SONSTAR forced to flash away from Kobbe now. Still disrespecting position.
If Lucian gets a jump there, it's incredibly hard.
Quick draw, man. A lot of gunslingers in this matchup. Wisdom himself, he had been racking up quite the score, but as tanky as he wasn't even able to get away from Trashy. Splyce, pretty hefty in this topside jungle. A few wards from Giants could spot them out, but there's nothing to take here, and they're able to easily get out quickly, although they're not playing all the wards they need.
Unbreakable for the good old moonwalk. It's like a 10% movement increase. 10% movement speed for the duration.
It's also cooler to just walk backwards sometimes. 2, 3. Some style. SONSTAR getting the reload on. Wunderwear goes in for him, issues the grand challenge, and there's no flash available. Using it on that bottom side. Now the question is, can he get away? Dodging out from a few shots of wisdom. Yep, he's gone. And he's back.
And that means the rest of the map is 4v5, and Splyce can take complete control. SmittyJ relinquishing his duty of bot lane pusher, moving to the mid for a bit of a flank. 4v5. Wunderwear's basing.
They can't fight this, not straight up. They've no AD carry for the time being.
That's not going to help though. Nisbeth, oh, it does help, but the Graves actually ultis on the shield despite it being up.
Tower's down, so that's the inner. And SmittyJ arrives just in time to see it crumble into rubble. Clearing the wards away, still wave pushing in the top side, but now Wunderwear's taking his place down bottom. And Splyce continued to take that gold up in their favor. You can see he's going all for the lifesteal. Got himself a bloodthirster.
Yeah, he just needs to stay alive, whack away with trades, and then sustain as much as he can. Win that damage trade. One thing we haven't talked about very much is the teleport possibilities for SmittyJ. If Splyce do overreach to try and punish Giants with a hard engage, he could teleport and trying to see if he can isolate the Azir, prevent Sencux from going in for the shuffle with the steadfast presence. Unlikely though, because they need Poppy in the front to disengage, potentially swing her hammer up. There's not people 2 swings away.
Yeah, we haven't seen as much of that from SmittyJ this game, and you know we had a harder time against Wunderwear. Not in the beginning, but later on it went.
Yeah, he's been using the ultimate more as a combo tool, where you just tap it really quick for a brief knock-up, so you can then wait for your cooldowns to then, or your team rather, to follow up. I like it being used like that. At the start when Poppy came out, people really insisted on full channeling the ulti. Good flank wards now though from Giants.
It did look that cool. Let's see. So Wunderwear and Smitty down on the bottom side. We know how this one's going to end, but Trashy takes one shot of the curtain call, dodging out the rest. SONSTAR still firing him off, but just doesn't have the damage he needs to get it done. He's only sitting on
Surprisingly
still
nimble
items.
for such a big man on that Gragas.
He's been working out, man. Calisthenics, that'll get you moving fast. Wunderwear and Smitty continue to go at this one, but still Splyce, the ball's in their court. 30 seconds until this next Baron. They might be feeling confident enough to try and set up a bait on it.
Yeah, that's likely the play they're going to do, because obviously you can't push into a Xerath at all. You can push into a Jhin if you want to be on, but they're too afraid of the pick potential here. So it's a hard job or a hard task to kind of open up inhib towers. So what you do is you just push in the waves, deny the vision in between, and then use Fog of War to your advantage to either buy time for you to do Baron, or just force a face check that you then punish. It's a delicate process though that becomes incredibly difficult. 1 versus a poke comp with so many brush check abilities, and 2 versus 3 blue trinkets. So we may see a very elaborate, long, exciting Baron dance.
The good old European Baron dances, I did miss them. It really has been.
Did you really though?
I did. Seriously.
That
Something always happens.
You wake up in the morning,
lots of people die.
You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm out of cornflakes. But at least today, I get to watch.
You don't eat cornflakes.
Good old Barons. Don't eat cornflakes?
Oh, I do. How did you know?
That's what I do, man. We do our research.
Pretty impressive. Wunderwear has been looking fairly impressive as well. Again on this Fiora. Champion that we know he's had some pretty good performances with when he can get his hands on it, but teams haven't always given it to him. This, you know, it begs the question for Giants, the pick ban strategy. Maybe they've given away a little bit too much of the signature choices. Banning that Sivir too. It's really not their style. They didn't want it to fall into the hands of Splyce, but Kobbe's been very happy on this Lucian pickup.
Yeah, he's farming up a Storm right now, 300 CS. But we saw exactly what we were worried about. xPePii, every time Splyce will contest that vision, he gets free reign to kind of just shoot fish in a barrel with the Q. Poke them low, and then it's very dangerous to start that Baron. But they do it incredibly quick with Lucian and Azir, plus a tank. We can actually, I don't know, I think it may actually be as fast. Kalista had the Ren at the end, but this team, auto-attack speed based on a 3-man roster. For a 3-man roster with just some generic tank from 2 DPS champions, Azir and Lucian should do an incredibly good Baron.
It'll be hard to bait it without, of course, starting it, of course, because you know the blue trinkets and how things have changed. But meanwhile, we get to take a look back at the mortal struggle that is Wunderwear and SmittyJ.
Yeah, that's the difference right now. If you want to hit the tower, obviously the enemy top laner gets free reign on trading on you, and you can't fight back because otherwise tower will trade back. That's why Raven is so good.
There we go. Started up. So the teleport's available for both Smitty and Wunderwear. Baron's being started, a lot of damage being dealt, but Sencux isn't even in the pit, and now they turn their attention. Ignoring Hustling. Oh, flashing away from Pepinero now. And Giants know
reset. Timeout.
That they have to dodge one there.
That's where we reset the play. There was no tag on anybody on the side of Splyce from damage-wise, so SONSTAR couldn't snare with the Deadly Flourish. Obviously, SmittyJ can always teleport in, whereas Wunderwear can't stop him. There's nothing in hard CC in his kit if there's no CC coming towards him, so SmittyJ always has teleport advantage here.
So Trashy.
Yeah, go ahead.
They've slowed the gold spiral a little bit here. I mean, they're still down about 3,500 gold, but it was worse, especially in the aftermath of the Baron power play. They've started to grab a little bit back for themselves, clearing out vision, making sure that Splyce can't get a free jump on him. And they're 1-to-1 in Dragons. They're still only 2 towers behind. They could answer back if they can only just win a fight or poke somebody out. So they're nowhere near out of this game. Splyce, on the other hand, I feel like they need to start applying more pressure and pushing these sideways harder.
I mean, they take a shot at the Baron, and the problem with that at this point in the game and the answers that Giants have towards Siege and Split Push is that a Baron attempt takes multiple minutes to set up and multiple steps. That's how I like describing it. It takes like 4 steps that you execute, and if you fail at one of those at any point, you go back to step number 1 completely, and you have to do the entire setup over and over again. And any of those steps, you are vulnerable, because you are looking at stuff like vision denial, and you can get poked out or caught out. So that's Giants' window of opportunity.
They're looking to jump right through it if they get it. Still, some wave clear there. Back in the mid, Splyce trying to keep it all even, and they just keep Wunderwear and SmittyJ occupied in the bottom side until Judgment Day, pretty much. Hustlin getting his ward clear out, and they just want to make sure that there's no flank possible. The Jhin traps weren't quite the key the last time. The Giants were in a massive lead situation, all going back to how their big push was kind of stopped. You could see it right there just shy of the 25-minute mark when it all kind of went to hell.
Yeah, and to stop that bleeding, I really like those 2 pink wards the Giants have placed in their jungle. One at the blue buff, and then one at the little brush, kind of at the right side. Actually not in the bush, the one over the wall that we just saw Hustlin pass. Scuttle goes towards Splyce, I believe.
Really fighting over it. Baron vision, very important there. And
Yeah, Splyce. No,
it's on Giant's side.
Giants picked that up, so that's another blocker. So that's Baron blocked for 90 seconds again. Now Poe comes out. This pink ward is just so good. You need deep vision. So Splyce, they're going about it wrong. They're trying to control the river when they should be controlling the enemy jungle and then getting the river down. Because whenever Giants have those two pink wards, they can play far enough up that they can poke out Splyce. If they don't have control in their jungle, then Splyce can always threaten a rotation in the mid lane and kind of cut them off when they're facing it.
There's just no inner tower for them to take right now, so they can only shove it in a little harder. And you mentioned how difficult it is to push against
right now, Splyce, they should move to the left side and get those pink wards down. Trashy's going in again though.
Looking for a fight. They look for Wisdom, but he's already backed away, and he's shut down by xPePii. Now Hustlin was targeted, but he doesn't have enough damage. They didn't have enough damage to take him down, I should say. Nisbeth trying to dodge out. One more step, he just narrowly avoids death, but Wisdom should be able to take him down anyways. That is a 2-for-none in favor of Giants.
All right, we need to watch this again to figure out whether this was a correct play from Splyce with failing execution, because they did find the flank and was not tracking where Trashy exactly was in my vision rams. Or whether this was just, overreaching and not the correct play, because Giants, they come away with another Baron here.
Yeah, they're going to get it for themselves. Splyce trying to push on the bottom side, but they get cold feet. Don't want to push any farther because then powered recall means they get back. Let's take a look at that play again.
I mean, he's half HP already. He needs to E-flash to connect to xPePii. And he fails again, and I don't think he can actually go for that. He didn't have the range, so honestly, I think Splyce need to understand that the best play there, as we see, this is the power of the firing squad though. They're 2 or 3 screens away, and they're still firing away, winning that fight.
Yeah, heavy artillery. Splyce managed to pick themselves up a Dragon Consolation prize, but not exactly what they wanted. Giants with another Baron power play look to finally knock down mid-tower number 2. And Splyce aren't there to defend.
And this begs the question, is this Gragas worthy of a pickup for Trashy? This is the 3rd E-flash I've seen him fail in the 2-game series. No E-flash here.
Oh, he gets the ult on Smitty, and now they turn their attention to xPePii. He's fired down. Grand challenge, healing shield, everything is there. So that's a long death timer for xPePii here, and Wunderwear looking at this big chasing.
The poke could disengage here, and this is make it so that Giants are not going to fight.
Yeah.
Disincentivize is the word I'm looking for. Is gone, so now Splyce can take full control, and this Baron will be completely wasted. So xPePii, for also the 3rd time in the series, not respecting the distance of hard engage.
Definitely not understanding or respecting the big Gragas barrel for sure. So Splyce get themselves some more breathing room here and some reprieve from that Baron push that would be coming out, looking to start pushing some sideways and make sure Giants can't get too far with it.
I'm really surprised xPePii is not running any distortion boots, despite running Ghost Flash on such a champion that is so dependent on getting that summer spells up to really get away from Trashy. So I think that's almost a mistake. I think the value you get from distortion is even more worth than even that that NLR that he has right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Has to beg the question. xPePii is a guy that can have games where he just God mode carries, and sometimes he can have games where he doesn't look like he understands some of the basics of his builds.
Giants is 45 here. Again, stepping too far, and they're getting caught again.
Yeah, it's Wisdom as tanky as he looks, and Wunderwear was able to dodge out the damage, and Grand Challenge just taking him down. That's his 5th kill on the game. Wunder is starting to look big. Hustlin and SmittyJ caught between all the members of Splyce, and Hustlin will get fired down. Now Smitty trying to chase Wunderwear in, knocks him into his team, but the rest leave him all for dead, forcing him to flash away. The barrel comes in to slow down SONSTAR and xPePii right behind him. That's a double kill for Kobbe, right back into this one. And now Splyce looking to charge down the line and chase down the remaining members of Giants. This could be curtains for the Jhin, and it is. Wunderwear with a dominating kill.
Yeah, dominating kill here, but Giants. 4 people on the tower. Your mid laner walking back from base. And you get caught again, and this is not the first time.
Oh.
Recurring mistake here. Another flash burn by xPePii, but he's going to go down as well.
Yep, goodbye. Those cooldowns, nice and low for Wunderwear as he's inside the base. No one there to answer. Death timer's quite high. 10 seconds still on Hustlin. He'll have to hustle to defend, and that is the inhibitor turret. That will be the inhibitor, and Splyce look to just finish this one off and even up the series.
Yeah, Hustlin comes out. There's 5 seconds here on Wisdom. Then it's 5v2. Disengage with Trashy. That's 1 Nexus tower going down. Hustlin drops.
Going further in, and there we go. Wisdom might be back up, but it's only 1 Nexus tower remaining, and he can't hold the line here. Splyce might be battered and bruised, but on a series of mistakes, they answer back. They capitalize for the win, picking up the ace again in just under 40 minutes. They've evened the series.
And it does feel that the pressure is getting to some of these teams, some rash decision making, some forced plays. Splyce lose their patience at multiple points in this game, lose track of the game plan, and just go for an erratic E-flash engage from Trashy that fails. Giants, they play the poke comp to a T, and then they forget the fundamentals. Mind the gap, don't get too close. They just get absolutely bopped twice, 3 times even. And then, like, I know there's communication issues and it's hard, you know, with these different languages, but you should be able to count to 5. If you don't have 5 people there, don't step up. And it's kind of sad to see what was in the makings of a good game get ruined by so many just key element mistakes.
Yeah.
But both teams are seeming at least willing to punish the other team when the mistake does happen. So they're not afraid to go aggressive. That's the only good takeaway, I feel.
Well, and that is a very important thing, of course, but we'll have to see if they're able to develop that as the series goes on. We already got the makings of a great one. Let's send it back to the analyst desk, though, to